的13号黄海梅的莫拉比 ，N1加把1球。
Run something, call something. One shot.
暂停时间到，来到蛋糕。
Go,
تا حالا چند بار که تقریبا بازی کردی تو 21 موقعیت داشتی توی ستی لیگ هم اگه قرار
بچه فول نکنیم.
ببین من اینا رو نمیدونم تا زمانی که داور ازت فول میگیره برو کارتو درست کن. این چی کار کردی؟
여기는 서먼지.
Hey, listen up, listen up. The problem is, we're not taking this game seriously. We're taking it too easy on them. We're playing at their level. This is not our level. We're not getting back on defense. We're all lazy out there. This is not the way to play. We might lose this game if we play like this. Come on, respect the game. Kick their butts. We're lazy right now. Play harder than the way we're playing. Right? We're not playing hard enough. It's too easy for them. Right? Let's run 4 down again properly. Right? H, look at... Yeah.
No,
He passed to the other side. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's execute. Come on, guys. Let's finish this half strong. Hey, energy. Finish the half strong.
Those are really strong words that you've heard coming from Coach Charles Chu.
Come flashing right there from Coach Charles Chu. Respect the game.
Right.
Making it too easy for them, but he is right. In the first period, Iran only scored 12 points, and the defense made it possible for them to have a big lead. Right now, the Iranians have adjusted very well, and they've also amped up their defense. This missed dunk right there, wasted opportunity for Iran.
Yes. And no way it's going to count. In all tournaments around the world, somebody hanging onto that rim and then your teammate will try to score. Nevertheless, that's already happened, so ball back with the Philippine team leading just by 3 points. And we've heard Coach Charles Chu telling his boys not to play lazy because they can if only they want to.
Well, looking at the talent right now for both teams, you'd see that the Philippines is head and shoulders above Iran. But again, talent is just there. But talent without chemistry, without purpose right now, will result into numerous turnovers and lackadaisical play. So right now, it has to come from within for the boys of Coach Charles Chu. They have to make sure that, yes, they are talented, but they have to back it up. They have to put forth the effort. And just like what Coach Charles Chu said, respect the game.
Jason Brickman making it 2 for 2. Both teams already in the penalty with 2 minutes and 45.
Now it's up to the Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines to close out this quarter, this half strong.
Iran, Taler Sahan is back. Fand is there. Taler Sahan hesitates with a 3. That was Azari. Now they go for it from the outside. It's a missed shot.
Too many opportunities to score for Iran here in the second period, as the rebounds have not been collared by the big guys and by Mighty Sports.
They should be getting those rebounds.
Especially if NJ is there.
Right. Shot clock down to 6 for Iran. Step back 3 here.
Woo!
And he makes it.
Ankle breaker right there as Moore slipped. That resulted into space for that 3-point shot.
Amir Hossein Azari with that basket and a nice move. How about this 3-pointer? It's offline for the Philippines. Just hanging on to that 2-point lead right now. An opportunity to equalize or maybe grab the lead. See, we saw Van hitting a 3-pointer earlier, but here's a steal for the Philippines. They score.
That's defense creating offense right there for Mighty Sports. A steal and the finish coming from Moore.
Philippines up by 4. Less than 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Right now they're trying to find the open man with only 5 seconds. How about that? We ought to see that one again. They thought it was clean.
What is evident with the Philippine team is that they're athletic. They're long and they are athletic. That's
Roosevelt Terrence Adams.
Adams, Jeremiah Gray, the reinforcements, Aaron Black. This is an athletic team that Coach Charles Chu has.
It was called a foul, so that both teams in the penalty. It's also in the act. But Iran also missing free throws here. And this is Solar Monji. Making one of those 2 free throws. And putting themselves to just within 3 here in the first half. Jason Brickman with a basketball. Here comes Adams as they go Gray from the outside, hits a 3-pointer. We needed that.
Still, his impressive play continues. 10 points in the game right now for Jeremiah Gray.
Iran, of course, the towering presence there of Hamadi NJ. This is a getaway, just a simple dunk, but still making a lot of impact here. You just don't play lazy, so they're listening right now and they're responding very well. As we go into this timeout with the Philippines now leading by 6 against Iran. Still plenty of basketball action for the 41st Jones Cup here on One Sports. What's remaining of the first half, 1:11, and it's a 41-33 lead here for the Philippines. They were threatened, they were just up by 2, but somehow the Philippines finding a way to pull away again, Coach Avi.
Well, they're listening to their coach. After that tongue lashing by Coach Charles Chu, telling them that they're lazy, they're not respecting the game. They really went to work, especially on the defensive side of things, as they're closing out this quarter very strong. And they have an 8-point lead with a minute left here in the first half.
Iran right now, Fand is there, still there. Shot clock is down to 6. They got to hurry it up. Great defensive job. Somebody left open in and out with that shot. Who's going to grab it? The Philippines once again, courtesy of Mackenzie Zachary Moore.
And they're rebounding better. The middle part of this second period, there were a lot of opportunities to score for Iran, but the closing out of this quarter, rebounds have been for the Philippines, as we see a 3-point shot to up the lead to double digits for Mighty Sports.
They're truly coming alive with those outside sniping here before the close of the first half. And now it's an 11-point lead for the Philippine team. An open look, the shot. Hamadi NJ fouled in that rebound play.
Whenever NJ is on the floor, the Iranians are thinking twice with their layups, and especially if they go inside because of the length, the height, and the timing of this reinforcement by Coach Charles Chu. It was a layup right there, but the pass on the 3-point shot, and no recourse for Iran to foul NJ.
And Jay makes his first free throw. Hamadi NJ makes both free throws. He's got to come up with some lessons for Eugene Phelps in that area. Iran unable to score. As we heard the buzzer to finally end the first half of play. And the biggest lead here for Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, just when they were threatened to just be up by 2, and then finding some magic wonders, and of course not playing lazy anymore to lead by 13 to end the first 2 quarters of play for this tournament. All right, taking a look at this. At the end of the first half, a 13-point lead being enjoyed by the Philippines, their biggest so far, and they lorded it over in almost all of the departments that we can see here. Coach Javi.
It's very high percentage from the field for the Philippines, 63% and 45% from the three-point area. Despite the struggles of Eugene Phelps in the free throw area, it's still a 53%, quite low. But for Iran, the bright spot is their rebounding. They've out-rebounded Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines and making sure that they keep in step with the boys from the Philippines.
That's the way we started this ball game, right away 2-0 because of that connection between Brickman and Gray. And of course, there was also those power moves being delivered here. And of course, we've seen it from Iran. But of course, the athleticism basically favors the Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines. There were just a lot of those things that happened as when they were committing a lot of those turnovers. The quick hands of Iran adjusting to the kind of defense they wanted to make it sticky and really created some problems for the Philippine team.
It was really good coaching coming from Coach Charles Chu. After that run in the second period by Iran, he really lashed out at his players, telling the players that they're playing lazy, that they are not defending very well. But after that tongue lashing, it was all Mighty Sports Go for Gold.
We're going to be taking a break. We'll bring you the second half when we return.
On our way to win the championship right now, you know the vibe.
Back in 2016, Mighty Sports came to Taiwan and conquered the prestigious William Jones Cup. Fast forward to 3 years later, Mighty Sports Go for Gold is back to do it again. For the first time since their championship triumph in 2016, Mighty Sports returns for another crack at the Jones Cup. The team arrives in Taiwan a day before the tournament opens, then travels 2 hours by bus from Taipei to Taichung, before traveling 45 minutes from their hotel to the playing venue. Despite the long trip, the team converges for a final practice in the evening. The goal? Start the tournament off with a win against Iran. The team is bolstered by 5 imports, which is actually 2 less foreign players when you compare them to the 2016 title-winning team. But head coach Charles Chu says he is confident in the ability of his local players to make that championship push.
I mean, we've got studs. I mean, Roosevelt Adam, that guy's going first round in the BBA. I mean, without a doubt. He can shoot, he can defend, he's athletic. He's 6'5", too. Jeremiah Gray, another very solid player also. I mean, he played for us very well. He played very well for us in Dubai. And we also got Mikey Williams. I mean, this guy's played in the NBA D-League already in the past, and he's another solid guard. He's a Phil-Am too. Of course, Jason Brickman's back. So, you know, those guys that I mentioned, and you have Aaron Black also. Of course, Campanal, and he's been playing the best basketball of his life. He wasn't there the last time, so you know, those guys will really help our team a lot.
The Philippine Ball Club will play almost every day for the next week, and will want to get off to a winning start in a tough slate of games. Mighty Sports tackles Iran in their campaign opener at 3 p.m. at the Changhua County Stadium.
I mean, we gotta go in there fighting, you know, gotta go in there focus on the game plan at hand, mentally focused, and go out there and play hard and play together. See what happens.
I don't know which team they're sending, but you know, Iran's always tough. Whether it's their A team, their B team, they're very physical, a solid team. They're one of the rivals of the Philippines. So you know, I wish we had a weaker opponent to start, but you know what? No excuses. We have a very tough schedule, to be honest. 5 straight games against basically probably the top 5 teams in the tournament, so it's tough. But we'll be prepared for Iran again.
Fellas, it's starting tonight, man. Get y'all minds ready for tomorrow night. All right? Mighty on 3. 1, 2, 3.
From Taiwan, Paulo Del Rosario. We are One News.
And from the looks of things, they're headed in that right direction, winning their first game. And actually, they were aiming high before they left for Taiwan, that it's championship or bust. And they're not making any excuses. Of course, they just have to be factual and tell it straight. Chemistry could be a problem, but they are really oozing with a lot of talent. As we can see here, leading by 13 points, and the start of the third quarter, the shot clock, it says 9. Eugene Phelps is back on the floor. He missed a lot of free throws. He only converted 1 back in the first half.
And he will be back the free throw line after that foul. After that, that video that was shown a while ago about Mighty Sports, what Ronaldo Balkman said was focus. That's the main thing that Mighty Sports team have to do in this tournament. They really have to make sure that they are focused, because they're going to be playing 5 straight games against top competition. So they gotta focus on the things that they need to do, especially right now. They need to take care of business. That focus was not evident in the second period, as they had a letdown. But after, again, that timeout by Coach Charles Chu, everything is back to normal for Mighty Sports.
We'll talk about tough competition that the Philippines will be facing here in the 2019 Jones Cup. Earlier back in the first half, when we had a chance to see Ricardo Ratliff will be playing, of course, for the Korean team, and you were actually telling us that it's the national team who showed up here in Jones Cup 2019. So that's going to be one of those tough competition ahead still for Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines.
If Ricardo Ratliff is there, that means that the national team is there. He is their naturalized player, kind of like Andre Blatch for us. So that's going to be a tough axe to grind for Coach Charles Chu, but they have to take care of business right now, which is Iran, and it is a formidable opponent. But like the first 2 periods, defense has been the strong suit for Mighty Sports.
And who could forget, of course, just about a few days ago before they left for Taiwan, when this Philippine team actually battled it out against the Gilas men's team.
Oh, that's correct.
Right.
And actually, the game ended in a tie.
Yes.
After a 3-point shot by CJ Perez. As that's a good preparatory game for this William Jones Cup. As you see that tap on the hand right there, which results into a foul and free throws for Iran.
Of course, if the Philippines have made the adjustment just before we ended the first half, for sure Iran is going to be coming up with a whole lot of adjustments also for themselves.
That is true, and you have to make sure that the defense still stays consistent, as it has to be their calling card. Yes, they are very talented, but they need to make stops in order for them to run and showcase their athletic abilities.
Michael Williams trying to go 1-and-1, and ball hitting his foot. It's a turnover.
It's over dribbling right there coming from Williams, as he's dribbling in the same place, and that results into a turnover, and ball will be given back to Iran.
Still a double-digit lead being enjoyed by the Philippines here. So take a look at Rabazram driving, kicking out, and a three conversion here for Iran. That's Dalir Zahan.
It's a breakdown on the defensive end for Mighty Sports, as Graham just looked at the shooter right there. No close-out whatsoever, results into a three-point shot.
Eugene Phelps driving, using his left, getting the layup.
He's been scoring very well for Mighty Sports, as we see Ralph Botman stealing that basketball and converting for Mighty Sports.
And putting a lot of pressure, especially this ball handler of Iran. But that's going to be a foul against Williams.
The adjustment made by Coach Charles Chu is to pressure full court, and that results into a turnover. As you can see there, Iran not suspecting a thing right there. And that was a foul by Williams.
51-37, 14-point lead for Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines. Iran, they've been playing catch-up most of the time. There was that scare back in the second period when the lead of the Philippines was cut down to 2. Finally, at the right moment, coming up with some big shots. Those three-pointers, 45% back in the first half from Rainbow Country.
63% from the field from the Philippines. So offense is not going to be a problem for Mighty Sports. It has to be consistency on the defensive end for the boys of Coach Charles Chu.
They have to talk. They have to really talk a lot there on the floor, these players. They're still having some problems about chemistry working out for them.
Familiarity.
Right.
And that negates the chemistry issue right there. If you just communicate well, talk on defense, and make sure where your teammates are.
They try to go inside, but a little too late. Was Tahiri not ready for that pass?
And again, good defense, good transition defense coming from Mighty Sports Go for Gold, thwarting that fast break attack of Iran.
Michael Williams being given a lot of minutes here in this third quarter. Brickman had his moments back in the first half. Too close for comfort, and a foul is going to be called against Iran.
Because there was a switch on the defense for Iran that left a small guy on Graham, and had no recourse there but to foul.
Phelps trying to go 1-and-1 here. Phelps not getting the layup. But there's going to be a foul against Tahiri.
Eugene Phelps loves to go left. I know that because I scouted him in the PBA. He loves to go left, and he just loves to go inside the paint. That time around, carving his own space. If you make him go left and full speed, very difficult to stop.
After missing a lot of those free throws, I told you it was going to be practice for him. So now it's making good, those free throws.
Again, like all teams, after halftime, all players, they adjust. And 2 for 2. First 100% visit from the line for Eugene Phelps.
He's got 14. His contribution coming off the bench. And there's also those 5 rebounds across his name. 8-16. It'll be getting larger. A turnover against Iran. Balkman, look at the way he handles that basketball for a big fella. And then that floater, that push shot for Gray.
Yeah, whenever there's a defensive stop, the Philippines will showcase their athleticism, their quickness, and length. That time around, the turnover resulted into 2 points for Jeremiah Gray.
This is the way they play basketball. They want it, they must, they can, and they're showing all of us. All right, welcome back, and you're being given the privilege for you to enjoy the holding of the 2019 William Jones Cup in Taiwan with Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, showing what they're made of. They're sending out that big message to the opponents of what they can bring on the floor here. First against Iran. It's going to be a tough schedule for them. Look at the way how it went. It's a 9-4 run here for the Philippines in the third quarter.
As we can see, the teams and the players that will participate as another turnover, another steal, another score for Mighty Sports.
A dose of their own medicine, the way they were doing, especially back in the second quarter for Iran.
An adjustment made by Coach Charles Chu, knowing that Iran does not have good ball handlers. What he did was to deploy a full court press, and has done wonders for Mighty Sports here in the third period. The lead right now has ballooned to 20 points.
Hesitates with the three. Goes for a higher percentage shot. Maybe they could actually get the same result here.
And again, another turnover and the showcase of talent right there and unselfishness. And one opportunity for Williams.
And the lead really has ballooned big for the Philippine team here, leading by 22. It could be 23 after this free throw from Michael Williams. Came off the bench, found himself struggling a little bit. Now, I guess it's just more than a couple of times that Iran has been called for lane violation.
Whenever you play good defense, good solid defense, and you force turnovers, and you're the more athletic and more talented team, you will have a big lead, and that's what happening. That is what is happening right now for Mighty Sports.
And look at the way they're playing defense. They're not even looking at the scoreboard anymore. They're just actually trying to execute some game plans here. And they're showing some great results. Baldman underneath just lost control of the basketball on his way up.
Fortunate incident there for Mighty Sports as Baldman lost that ball. But again, the defense has been there for the White Shirts. Only 4 points scored by Iran here in the third period.
There's no unfortunate incident in the execution of defense, as they say. But that's a great baseline jumper here for Iran.
That's a tough baseline move right there, and almost again. You gotta love the handles though of Williams there behind the back, and then the dish, almost a slam for Eugene Phelps.
Can't blame him for trying to come up with some highlight moves here.
It's the second time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And he's improving from the line.
Just as you said it.
Yes, I was expecting that to happen. 2 for 2 earlier, missing the first one. The strip.
But he has to improve. He really has to improve, especially against more formidable opponents in the upcoming days, because they will need every point
Oh, what a pass. Somehow the execution just a little slow here for Iran.
The energy on the defensive end for Mighty Sports has been superb here in the third period.
But somehow Muhatsima or Muhatsima Bahidi was able to create and score. Baldman.
Baldman got hit in the head right there. He got hit in the head after that made shot.
That's what Coach Charles Chu is trying to explain. Is taking a look at this.
But you know what? That's a sign of maturity there for Baldman. The Baldman of
Yes.
olden times, of before, would have done something after that hit. That's that I am sure of. But after that hit, he just went near. Actually, he just said a few words right there. That was intentional. But the Baldman of old would have done something. But that's a sign of maturity right there. Yes, he was called for a technical foul, but it could have been worse for Mighty Sports.
He's saying he's dedicating all his games here at the Jones Cup.
That was
for his
intentional
agent
right there.
Cheryl
See?
Reyes.
Right there. It was not even for the ball.
Yes.
And it was a closed fist right there.
He has mellowed down. Yes,
Most
learned his
definitely.
lessons.
Most definitely.
Yes. How about that one? Bahidi again showing us a great move for Iran.
Bahidi has some individual basketball moves right there.
Phelps, now Williams. Zach Graham hesitates. Finding Gray underneath, missing the dunk. An opportunity for Iran, but they're down big time here by 20. Lucky break for them. That ball was already lost. Good recovery on the part of Iran.
There's a lot of fancy basketball for Mighty Sports in the past few possessions. They are up big right now, but it's not a one game yet. There's still a lot of basketball left to play here and a full quarter ahead.
Williams hitting a three. That's a good point there.
Trust given by Coach Charles Chu to this young man, even though he has been struggling here in this game. Michael Williams scoring for Mighty Sports.
Can't answer right back Iran with their own three-pointer. Williams with the basketball. The quick pass inside. Almost lost it. Another three back-to-back here for Michael Williams.
Michael Curtis Williams. Remember the name because he is one stud according to Coach Charles Chu.
And Dalir Zahan with a baseline jumper.
Iran cannot afford to just change baskets right here because they are down big.
What else can they do? Michael Williams, the layup is a miss. He was challenged that time, but had the right idea. Oh, nice pass, nice play here for Iran.
Nice pass again coming from Vahidi, and Vahidi has been showcasing his talent here in the third period.
3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Action truly picked up. And still favoring the Philippines here. Of course, the performance of Michael Williams. His ball distribution chores, and not only that, can also create his own shots.
Michael Williams, Eugene Phelps, Ronaldo Baldman, and the rest of the squad that started off the third period. And they did it with defense. Yes, we've been highlighting the offensive might and offensive talent of the Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, but it has been their defense that that has given them this whopping 20-point lead.
Eugene Phelps making the first one. Those two free throws, making both this time.
Better performance from the free throw area.
Truly has got a lot of making up, especially in that department, shooting free throws.
So
he
far,
was miserable
yes,
back in the first half.
So far in the third period, he is 4 out of 5. In the first half, he was 1 out of 7. So nice adjustment made there by Eugene Phelps.
And Jay committing that foul. Those two shot blocks in the first quarter of this ball game. Opportunity to get 2 points more here for Iran from the free throw line. Missing on the first one. 2 minutes and 45 remaining here in the third. Healy with a miss. Brickman is back. Aaron Black losing. Got fouled. There's also that swarming defense being applied here by Iran.
It's a lucky break coming there for Aaron Black. Almost fumbled that ball, and it was almost a turnover. But that foul will result into free throws because of the penalty situation by Iran.
A chance for him to score. Aaron Black at the line. Both teams already in the penalty with 2 minutes and 38 remaining.
The youngest players in the lineup of Coach Charles Chu, played for the Ateneo Blue Eagles for 4 years and is now representing our country here in the William Jones Cup.
Putting himself on the scoreboard by registering his first point. Not bad enough, given some time to play here for the Philippine team. Hesitation with that outside shot. Iran trying to find an open man. Black comes up with a basketball.
Almost double.
Adams. There was no rebounder for the Philippines that time around. Zan setting up the play here for Iran. Down by 23. For the moment, Heedy. And a foul's going to be called against Adams. Both teams again in the penalty, so that'll mean free throws for Vahidi of Iran with just 1 minute and 54 remaining.
One of the players that has played very well for Iran in this game, Mohammodissina Vahidi.
Vahidi. He's got some westernized style,
yes,
with the way he plays here.
This is one-on-one moves. As you see, stat line right there: 7 points, 4 rebounds, and assists. His moves, his handles, and the way he finishes, and the way he dishes, it's a sight to behold for Iran.
It's the looks of things to come for Iran. Also a powerhouse in international basketball.
Yes, most definitely.
Adams from the outside missing the three. NJ! Crowded situation underneath.
Just smiles off that foul right there as he got that ball and 4 red shirts, or 3 red shirts all around him. And they cannot do anything but to foul. A smile coming from NJ.
NJ, his last trip shooting free throws was 2 for 2. He's got a good touch from the line.
Yes, this is a good first game. I know we have not won yet. It's not a one-ball game yet, but this is a good first game to get their feet wet. We're talking about Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, as they are preparing for a tough grind here in the Jones Cup. After this, they will play Jordan, and on Sunday they will play Japan, and then on Monday they will play Team Canada, and on Tuesday it's South Korea, and then they will take a break. So that's going to be 5 straight games in 5 straight days for the boys of Coach Charles Chu.
You just have to keep on playing, not to play lazy at all.
Yes, you have to be consistent. Focus and consistency, those are going to be key factors in this run by by Mighty Sports.
High in the sky. How many times have they done that? The athleticism of these players for Mighty Sports Go for Gold. NJ at the finishing end of that play. Vahidi, nice pass inside. A little bit not exactly in complete control of that basketball.
But it was a push, that late nudge by Moore. As you can see, the pick and roll action, alley-oop play, and the finish.
NJ, he can. That's why He went for it. Monji missing the first free throw. Wearing jersey number 15 here for Iran. 52.5 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Philippines has scored 30 points here in the third period.
This is just their first game. Trying to get the feel of how this tournament will go.
If they are going to play consistent defense just like this, they will be hard to beat.
Oh, that's for sure. And at least, you know, some good signs being shown here by the Philippine team. Just their first game. So they're going to be coming up with 8 more games. And as what we have been explaining, no championship game here. You end up number 1 at the end of the whole competition. You got to be the champ.
Will be the champs. As you can see, another difficult highlight play coming from Ward.
Just running out of time, ending the third quarter. He was expecting a foul, but the energy truly is picked up here for Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, the way they should. And we're going to be coming right back with the fourth quarter. Of course, you're watching the 2019 William Jones Cup, the 41st, here on One Sports. And as we enter the final quarter of this ball game featuring Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines leading big against Iran, and most probably we could already safely say that this is a good start for Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, and they just have to be consistent with that intensity, most especially that they have shown back in the third period, Coach Javi.
32 points in the third period for Mighty Sports as opposed to 18 only for Iran. They have limited Iran to less than 20 points in every quarter except for the second period. And again, we have been raving about the athleticism, the highlight plays of Mighty Sports, but it has been the defense creating numerous opportunities to score the fast break, which resulted into this humongous lead by Mighty Sports.
Iran find the outside shots, missing.
And remember, Benji, that this team has not was just assembled a couple of weeks ago. So there's a lot of kinks that need to be improved on, but this is a very, very impressive start by the boys of Coach Charles Chiu.
Looking for an open man to shoot from the outside. They've had that chance, but of course the offensive foul will negate anything that they have planned in this play.
But I think it's a flop right there. It would be called a flop. So flop in William Jones Cup would mean, would mean technical free throws.
A good call by the referees here. And NJ is shooting well from the line. So ball will stay with the Philippines. Moore, Zachary Moore with the basketball. It's already the fourth quarter. Just to be consistent with the way they have been doing it back in the third period, hitting a three, just like that. So
that's Roosevelt Terrence Adams, one of the snipers of Coach Charles Chu and one of the studs that he was talking about. He's raving about his young athletes, Roosevelt Adams, Jeremiah Gray, Williams, Aaron Black. These are the players that will play a vital role in the success of their campaign here in the Jones Cup.
so one portion on the floor being wiped off.
Let's see if they're in zone. One more, same,
Coach
same.
Charles Chu really
Same,
happy
same,
at
same.
what he's seeing from his players.
I like what he did in the second period. He really let his feelings known in that timeout in the second period that changed the momentum for Mighty Sports. They were playing lackadaisical, they were playing lazy like what he said, and they were not respecting the game. So he really lashed out at his players. And after that, you see that looping three-point shot by Aaron Black. After that timeout, it was all Mighty Sports.
So 4 points for Aaron Black in this ball game. And of course the ability of Coach Charles Chu to actually find right combination, and anybody that he could actually point to play will be on the same page. They're just going to be acting the same way. And everybody knows what they're doing.
Yes, we are up right now big, 32 points. But like what we said a while ago, that this team has not had a lot of practice time. So don't expect Coach Charles Chu to just fill in bench players, as we see another highlight action right there coming from NJ.
Amadi NJ. It was already like awkward for him to catch that ball, but still managing to stuff it in. 87-53 lead here. It really deserves another look. Highlight.
We gotta give props also to Brickman right there. He just lobbed it up at the right place for NJ to get that basketball. That's the part of the game of Jason Brickman that coaches love and want to have in their team. That passing, that makes the pinpoint passing, and the high basketball IQ of Brickman.
Angelo Wong Chu King is in the game. Of course, Mr. Alex Wong Chu King's kid on the floor right now, playing for the first time, being given a chance. And earlier we had a chance also to see Joseph Yo, but not suited up.
Yeah, he is not suited up to play. But for Jones Cup, you can change your lineup every day because of the grueling schedule that you are facing every single day. There is an option to change who you will field in tournament play.
And if I'm not mistaken, by the 24th of this month, the Women's Jones Cup will start, and Perlas Pilipinas will be participating. And that's also going to be very, very interesting. But right now, for the Philippines to come up with this big lead, and for sure, there's still a lot of work to be done. Jordan, then Japan, and of course a chance also for Coach Charles Chu to scout Korea.
Yes.
That'll be very, very interesting.
For the next 4 days, the Philippines will play Jordan tomorrow. They will play Japan on Sunday. They will play Canada on Monday, and they will have South Korea on Tuesday. And then after that, they will have a 3-day break, and they will play Indonesia on Friday. That's a tough schedule right there.
Khalil Zahn with 14 points. It's 2 of 4 from the outside. But this is just too much firepower that the Philippines have shown, especially here in the second half. Mahidi, we were amazed by his moves, the way he would set up his teammates. His individual performance here. So you take a look at the Philippines once again on the attack here. And Aaron Black with another basket.
Another assist coming from Brickman right there. as Aaron Black delivers in the fast break end for Mighty Sports.
6.5 remaining in this ball game. Looks like Philippines here in the second half, actually, when they really picked up on their game. It actually basically started before we ended the second quarter. And then for a little while, they lost steam and regaining it again. And there's no looking back anymore for Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines, leading 89-56.
And right now, with this impending win, as we see that and one opportunity by Iran, it has to be consistency right now. And also for the players, they have to make sure that they get ample rest from here, between here and now and their next game. Rest is going to be important. They're going to have a grueling schedule every single day for the next 5 days. They will be playing basketball, so make sure that they rest and get their necessary treatment done and prepare for tomorrow's battle.
Yusuf Van unable to score. That bonus. That's a quick play that they're trying to execute. But Angelo Wong Chu King stepped out of bounds. 5 minutes and 48 remaining.
And for the ones that are watching right now, we are looking at some of the players that will be available for next year's draft. We are talking about Jeremiah Gray right there, Aaron Black, Roosevelt Adams. I don't know if Michael Williams will be there, but these are the times that coaches and also the Filipinos want to get to know these individuals.
And One Sports is actually giving you that opportunity. 89-58 Philippines. Gab Banal is back on the floor here for the Philippine team.
Again, there are no semifinals or quarterfinals and even finals here in this William Jones Cup. Whoever is number one after 10 days will be crowned the champions.
Wong Chu King trying to get on the scoreboard, unable with that jumper, but has another opportunity here. They reset their play. Wong Chu King driving, just too deep underneath, challenging a bigger guy. For a little while there, that ball could have been stolen. Ahidi, oh, what a nice find inside.
Breakdown there on the defensive end for the Philippines as Iran scores 2 points.
Here it is, Wong Chu King. Now Moore has it. Moore kicks it out. Gab Banal for 3. Just rattled out. 4 minutes and 39.
Stepping on the line. Turnover again for Iran. They have a lot of turnovers here in this game because of the defense shown by Mighty Sports.
That's a timeout on the floor. And we're going to be right back, of course, with more of the 2019 Jones Cup. And as it's starting out, indeed, it's a treat for all of you. Having a chance, of course, to watch the Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines in action. The competition in Taiwan for the 41st Jones Cup. Leading this big, 89-62 against Iran. This is just the first game. They have tested the waters. And let's see what else they could come up with. Of course, we're expecting a lot of improvement, especially for the chemistry of this team in the coming days, Coach Javi.
But they have done a masterful job in starting off festivities here in the William Jones Cup 2019. Very superb coaching coming from Coach Charles Chu. The defense has been solid. It's all a matter of consistency from here on in for Mighty Sports.
No choice but to shoot from the outside for Iran that time. Too many big men inside, ready to defend for the Philippine team. That has created a lot of problems for Iran in this ball game.
And also kudos to the performances of the reinforcements by Coach Charles Chu. We're talking about Eugene Phelps, Ronaldo Bogman on keeping his cool in the third period after that hit on his head. Also, and Jay and the rest of the reinforcements have done very well to start off this tournament.
And it seems like those bench players are going to be given a chance to play here, both most especially for Iran. Let's take a look at Michael Williams, who was able to hit a couple of three-pointers. Hits another one, his third in this ball game.
This kid can ball, this kid can play. And this is the first time I've seen him in action, and he is really a superb athlete. That no wonder Coach Charles Chu is very high on this individual.
That's his right back, just a two-pointer here for Iran. That was Dergo Kashandro.
It's a backcourt violation right there for Mighty Sports, and ball will be given back to Iran, facing a whopping 30-point lead.
Michael Williams have had a chance for those back-to-back, and now he's still got a hot hand, making that three-pointer just earlier. 30-point lead for the Philippines. That's offline, completely missing the hoop. And here comes Gray, setting up Wong Choo King. They want him to have a basket. A chance again. And they have to get back on defense here. And they paid for it, but still a big lead for the Philippines.
Garbage points right now for Iran, as Mighty Sports has this game won already. But like I said a while ago, it is a chance for, yes, they have won this game, but they're looking at the bigger picture. So this is a chance for Mighty Sports to fast-track the chemistry, because, like you said, this team has been assembled just 2 weeks ago.
And Eugene Phelps finally gets to do his thing. He wanted it all game long. He have been trying, even with defenders in front of him.
This is a loaded lineup for Coach Charles Chu. He has shooters, he has ball handlers, and he has big guys to go up against the taller opponents here in the William Jones Cup. Again, it's just a matter of consistency. This is a loaded team right there. And like what Jeremiah Gray said about in that video to start off festivities here in the third period, they are aiming for the crown.
And Eugene Phelps just showing everybody he was aching for something like this, an opportunity for this to happen for him in this ball game. And Jeremiah Gray, obviously happy, elated with that dunk by Eugene Phelps. The quick pass inside. Gabanal missed an opportunity, flubbed it. 96-69 for the Philippines. And they still have a mission to complete here, because they were trying to actually give the basketball to Angelo Wong Choo King.
And they want him to score.
Right. Let's see. Eugene Phelps momentarily losing control. And then gaining some speed and power, getting that layup.
Just see how strong this individual is. No matter who is in front of him, he just warded it off and then scores for Mighty Sports.
Only 71 seconds remaining in this ball game. And it has to turn out to be a walk in the park here for the Philippines. Maybe most probably just in the first few minutes have that first day jitters. Was able to rub it off. And now they're playing good basketball. Of course, the competition still ahead. Some teams that they have to face. Earlier, we had a chance to see the University of British Columbia, the team from Canada, losing out in overtime against the host team, Taiwan.
And also, we are going to see Jordan playing against our Mighty Sports Go for Gold team tomorrow. Japan also. Of course, we saw Ricardo Ratcliffe. You know what he can do. And if he is there, the national team will represent South Korea. So we won this game, but there's a lot more basketball left to play for Team Philippines.
Just the start. It's going to be tough. They go long. The long three is offline. Another offensive rebound for Iran. Philippines convincingly winning this one. Their first game. And one thing's for sure, a lot of people are going to be on the lookout for more of those games that they're going to be playing against different opponents in their campaign here for the Jones Cup 2019. You cannot miss out on anything. Just tune into One Sports.
There you go.
Ongchuking.
Almost. Almost.
Well, he'll have his chance. This is just their first game. And everything is finally settled here. Philippines winning big against Iran, 98-72. So many sterling performances from different players that we have seen here. But of course, there's still a lot of work to be done. And we're expecting some quick adjustments on the part of the Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines to come up with convincing victories one after the other. They want a championship. They don't want anything else. And we're just going to be taking a break. 98-72. We're still going to be talking about this game. Philippines winning this one over Iran for the 2019 Jones Cup. It's turned out a very good start here for the Philippines. Their campaign for the 2019 Jones Cup, just playing their first game and winning convincingly against Iran, 98-72. We've had a chance to see a lot of those high-flying moves, of course, those defensive jobs that they were able to do. And really, there was a whole lot more that we're expecting to see in the coming days, Coach Javi.
Very impressive debut of the Mighty Sports Go for Gold Philippines here in the William Jones Cup 2019. It was a defensive masterpiece for the boys of Coach Charles Hsu, especially in the second half. They limited Iran to less than 20 points in each of the quarters, and they forced numerous turnovers, which resulted into highlight basketball. And 1-0, that is the record of Mighty Sports.
And this is what's up ahead again for the Philippine team. They have already managed to scrap that out, Iran with that win, and then tomorrow Jordan, Japan on Sunday, every day Canada, South Korea, and Indonesia. They're just going to be taking a 3-day break. Then Chinese Taipei A and Chinese Taipei B. Boy, this is going to be tough for Mighty Sports, but we know they can handle the situation, especially with the lineup of Coach Charles Chu right now.
Yes, it's going to be a tough climb for our Mighty Sports, but they are a loaded team and they are prepared. And let's see, and we are all supporting our boys of Mighty Sports, and all games will be live here on One Sports.
Yes, do check out those times. So actually you could track everything and get to see and enjoy because Mighty Sports Philippine basketball. For Coach Javi Nunag, we are One Sports. My name is Benji Santiago, and we'll see you at the ball games.
Asian Cup sa July 25, Thursday, sa Paco Arena, Manila.
Even though, win this game, there's no chance of a playoff spot, I think that momentum kind of carries forward into the next conference. Kind of gives us something to leave off on a positive note. Obviously, we'll be going to work. While the team's in the playoffs, we'll be preparing for the next conference. So just want to end up on a high note and then kind of continue that momentum into the next conference.
That's the mentality of Olu Ashalu, they're out of contention in the Commissioner's Cup, but what he said was, we want to bring something positive in the Governor's Cup.
Well, so far, the way they've been playing in this first half, it looks like they're on their way to that. Hopefully they can keep this type of performance up. However, the last few possessions, they've turned the ball over. They have more turnovers than Phoenix does so far in this first half, so they got to tighten that up.
You mentioned 10 for NLEX?
10 for NLEX.
And then 7 for Phoenix.
7 for Phoenix.
That's right. It's quite a lot indeed. 2:15 remaining here in the second quarter. 10 to shoot for NLEX. Larry from downtown. Not that time. Guevara handoff to Azul.
2 minutes.
RJ setting the table here for Phoenix. Locates Ray. 3-ball won't drop. Leak out play to Larry. And Ponashe scoring off that layup.
I'll tell you, Larry used to do that with us over at TNT. He used to leak out, and then he'd get a nice layup. Easy layup.
And Larry's long.
Yes, he is. He's about 6'3", 6'2", 6'3".
And he can stretch for that layup. NLEX up by double digits again at 11. Spin by Howell, met by Olu, in and out.
You know what? That was a nice, solid move. It's just he can't convert. Couldn't convert on that.
Uh-oh. You want to give Olu that momentum going towards the basket, because that would be the result more often than not.
And we saw him do something like that versus San Miguel Beer, going up heads up against the big interior of the Beermen. He does the same thing here. Just full steam ahead, takes the contact from Rich Howell, has the ability to draw the and one.